Hi, my name is Ingrid, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this crochet top. So it's relatively easy. I wouldn't make it for your first crochet project, but your second or third, that's fine. I'm going to use pretty basic stitches, and I'll show you how to do them, and you can always just look up any other video on YouTube and it'll show you how to do them. They're very simple stitches. I am also going to put the step-by-step instructions, kind of like a written pattern but without the whole fancy abbreviations and everything, because I'm not really sure how to do that, in the description. And so you'll be able to look at both the video and the written down pattern, I guess. It is pretty size inclusive, so I'm going to be showing you technically how you can make it for your own body size. It might be slightly easier if you're the same size as me, which is like a small medium, because you can just follow exactly what I'm doing rather than having to measure on your own body. But yeah, and everything I'm doing is really simple. So if you're confused about anything or you think I'm explaining it really badly, you don't understand, first of all, you can leave me a comment. Second of all, you can just look up any other video on YouTube and you'll find the specific part that you need to know. Comments, I'll try to respond to as many comments as possible. If you leave a comment more than a month or two after I've posted this video, I might not respond. I probably won't respond because I'll have forgotten completely how to do this. And so in order for me to know what you're talking about, I have to rewatch my video, and that'll take a very long time. But if you post a comment relatively soon after I post this video, I'll pretty much always respond. And yeah, so if you've got any questions, concerns, let me know, and I hope you find the video helpful.
Okay, so you're using a sage, the color Sage from Sugar and Cream, and the color, it's Denim Blue Prince from Sugar and Cream. That's all you need, as long as you're making a small or medium. If you're making a bigger size, I recommend you get at least another sage color. So I'm going to be using a 5mm crochet hook. I'm going to start off by measuring around my waist where I want it to start. So this is a bit higher than my waist because it's really short. And for me it's 28 inches and I'm adding an extra inch just so it's not too tight. Okay, so I'm personally gonna crochet 82 chain stitches, and that equals to about 29 inches. Basically, you just want to chain until you get as many, the length is as long as the measure of your waist. Okay, so once I have my 82 stitches, or however long it takes to get to the number of your waist, how many inches your waist is, I'm just going to measure it to make sure, like this. And if you're doing a bigger size or a smaller size, I would recommend chaining a few and then measuring it, and chaining a few and measuring it to make sure you get the right number. Okay, once I change the measure my waist, I'm going to chain 4 more. And that's because we're going to be doing a triple crochet stitch. So for a triple crochet stitch, I'm going to wrap the yarn around my hook twice and then go into the chain that we started with before we added the 4. Then wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2, and wrap around and pull through 2 again. And that's what a triple crochet stitch is. And I'm going to do that again, so wrap around twice, and then go into the next chain, and pull through once, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2. And you're going to do this for the rest of the chains. And if you've done this before, I would recommend maybe trying it a few times. It looks a lot more complicated than it is. And again, if you're having any trouble, there's tons of videos on YouTube that describe it a lot slower and a lot better than me. Okay, so now I've done a triple crochet stitch in every single chain. This is probably the hardest part of this entire project because you really don't have any grip. It's kind of awkward. You feel like you're making mistakes. But once you get through this, the rest is easier. Okay, so now I'm going to do another row. So I'm going to chain 4. And then turn my project around, and I'm going to that first chain right there. So again, I'm going to wrap it around twice. Go into the first chain, pull through, wrap around once, pull through 2, wrap around once, pull through 2, and wrap around once and pull through 2 again. This one is a little tricky, as you can see, because it's full of many little strings, but it's fine. Just make sure you're getting all of them. And you're going to do this for the rest of the row, and then you're going to do that for 2 more rows. So you're going to have 4 rows of triple crochet stitches. If you want this to be longer, you can do as many rows as you want. For example, you want it to be less like a bra and more like an actual shirt, you can do it for 6 or 7 rows. After that, I wouldn't recommend doing any more because that's when your waist starts to widen out and it won't fit. But a few more extra rows is fine. Okay, yay, so I have done 4 rows of triple crochet. So your project should look like this. And now we are going to start on the edging. Okay, so we're going to take our other yarn, the denim blue print from the Sugar and Cream, I think, collection, or whatever it is. It's the yarn I showed in the beginning. And we're going to start with the border, or the edging, whatever you want to call it. So this is going to be very simple scalloped edging. Again, if I'm explaining it bad, there's tons of videos on YouTube that show this, and only this, so it's very simple. Okay, so we're going to start by going in, and I'm going to pick up the yarn, just to have the yarn, and I'm just going to crochet 1. And now the yarn's connected, right? And then, tightening it, I'm going to go into the second stitch, right? Without picking up anything, I'm going to pick up the yarn there, and then just slip it through. And now I'm going to do a double crochet 3 times in the same stitch. So wrap it around once, pull through 2, wrap it around once again, pull through 2. It's just a double crochet. And now I'm going to do this 3 times in that same chain area. So once we've done the 3 double crochet stitches, you're just gonna go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch like that, and go into the next stitch and do another slip stitch, and then you're gonna do the 3 double crochets in the next stitch, and you can continue this pattern for the entire length of the your waist, the bottom of the shirt. You're done your last stitch, you're just going to pull the yarn through. You're going to cut it before you do that, obviously, and then you're done with the border on the bottom of your shirt. It should look like this. Okay, so now we're going to do the bikini cup portion. So we start with a slip knot, and then I'm going to crochet 12 chain stitches, actually 13 because we need 1 extra. And this seems kind of intimidating, but actually a bikini cup is a lot easier than it looks. So sizing, I'm around a C/D cup, but if you are any other size, basically you're chaining from the underside of your boob to your nipple. So you want it to chain until it's exactly that length. And then I'm going to go into the second chain from the end and just do a regular single crochet. And I'm going to move down the chain doing single crochets. And keep in mind, you want to measure this from the underside of your boob to your nipple plus 1 chain, because that's just a little extra that you need. Okay, so now we are done with the 1 row of single crochets, and so now I'm going to chain 1 and turn it around and do exactly the same thing. Okay, so once you get to the end of that row, on the last stitch, which I'm obviously struggling to get, instead of just single crocheting once, you're going to do it 3 times, kind of like we did with the edging. Okay, so once I've done the 3 single crochets in that one spot, I'm gonna not turn it around. I'm gonna actually go on the other side of my crochet, and I'm just gonna single crochet down that side.
Missing someone.
Okay, so once you get to the bottom, you're going to do a slip stitch and, a chain stitch, and turn it around and go up the other way. And we're still doing single crochets.
And you did it right from the start.
So once we get to the top, you're going to keep going like normal, but then when you get to the exact middle, and there should be an exact middle, not this one, the next one, you're gonna do 3 single crochets in that one spot. So exactly like we did before.
Is as normal, missing someone.
And then you're just gonna keep doing that until you get to the bottom, and then do the same thing over and over again. If you're doing the same size as me, you're going to do these weird U-shaped rows for 14, so 14 rows in total. If you're doing a different size than me, just measure it on your boob until you think it's appropriately covered. Okay, so it should look like this, and I am going to start with the edging. So it's exactly the same thing you did before. You're going to attach the white blue denim print, I think it's called. It's the same yarn as you did the edging before, and you're doing exactly the same thing. So I'm going to start by attaching it, and you're going to do one slip stitch. So you're going to do a second slip stitch, and then you're going to do the 3 double crochets in the same spot. And then you're going to go back to the 2 slip stitches and 3 double crochets, and on and on and on until you cover both sides of the boob, just not the bottom. You're not doing this on the bottom. Okay, so when you're done, you're just going to pull it through and then cut the yarn, or cut the yarn and then pull it through. Either way, the point is you're finishing this off. Bam, done. It should look like this, no matter what size you are doing. And now I'm going to start on the straps. So this is going to be a halter top. So basically you're going to make the straps on both sides and then just tie them together. So at the top, I'm going to manage to get my crochet hook through there, and I'm just going to pull some of the white yarn through. Okay, so once you manage to pull some through, as violent as it is, then you are going to, you want it so that there's like a little hook on the correct side. Also, the sides should be the same, so just decide which side you think is prettier, and that's good enough. They should be completely reversible. Okay, so now that I have a little hoop on one side, I'm gonna do a chain. That's it, a very simple chain like you did when you cast it on, except for I'm gonna try to make this as tight as possible so it ends up looking a bit like a braid. So you might want to pull it in between each stitch just to make sure it's nice and tight. It should be a lot tighter than what you would use to crochet. Okay, so once you've done a relatively long chain, enough that you would be able to tie it around your head if there were 2 of them, I'm just gonna put the yarn through, and you should make another one, obviously, and then you will be at the point that I am.
And you did it right from the start.
Okay, so now you should have the 2 cups and your technically waist shirt part. And I'm gonna make it so that it is exactly in the half. So you want 2 ends to meet in the middle. So basically there's the back, right, where the seam is directly in the middle, and then the front where it's no seams. So that's what you want. Once I finally manage that, I'm going to flip it over, and you are going to put it so that the cups are exactly in the middle. So you want the 2 cups to be in the middle of the shirt part. Okay, so now once you have those centered, I guess, you're gonna line it up exactly, and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm just going to crochet, single crochet those 2 things together. And I happen to have a yarn thing attached from, you know, before, but you can always just pick up a new thread like that. So you're just gonna single crochet all the way until the second cup, and then you're gonna single crochet that. You can just flip it over to make sure you think it looks good in the front. It should just look like this. And if it doesn't, as long as it doesn't look any worse than this, I think you're good. Okay, so once you're done with that, you're not gonna like cast off, but for crocheting, you're gonna keep the hook there, or at least the loop open, because you're just gonna attach the second cup right there. And I want there to be a little bit of overlap. Personal choice. You can make them further apart, like if your boobs happen to be further apart, or like you have a wide chest. I don't know. Whatever works for your body. I'm putting them right next to each other so that the edging is kind of overlapping and the green's right next to each other. And then you do exactly the same thing. Okay, so you just finish it off like that. Bam, put the thread through, and it should look like this, right? And now we're going to do the final part, which is the border / edging on the part of the shirt part that isn't attached to the cups. So it might be a little bit tricky because it should be a little bit folded over at the edge from where we attach it to the cups, but just make sure you get a nice spot. I'm choosing to connect it to the edging, so I'm attempting to put my crochet hook through the part that previously I had the white thread. So, and you're going to pull it through and then continue the same pattern as before. Okay, so then you're gonna do this edging on the rest of this panel part and on the other side. You're not gonna connect them though. Don't connect them together. Make sure there's a break. Okay, great. Now you're all done. It should look like this, and I'm gonna make this lace up back. This is gonna make it easy to get on and off. If you made this way too big for you, like either you're a lot smaller or skinnier than me, or you decided to make this a lot bigger, you probably can slip in and out of it. If you made it the appropriate size for you, you're not gonna be able to do that. So I'm gonna do this little lace up. You can do it with green. I didn't really think about that, but it might be easier. And like that. And you don't have to do this every single time you put it on. Just tighten and loosen these, just like I'm doing right now. And I have the tail end of one on the bottom, and this one that I just laced up I'm going to put on the other side, so that I can just make this nice little bow. And now you are done. And you can tie the top of the halter when you put it on. Okay, so this is the finished product. I hope you like this, and I hope you make it. I know it's not the most conservative thing, but there's ways to make it more conservative if you want. You know, you can put a cardigan over it, wear something underneath it, or you can just wear it as a bikini to the beach. Probably the most modest one there. Thanks for watching.